Alright, what's up everybody? It is Joltead here, back with PDA Ultra League Week 1. I did not make a draft analysis video for this because the drafts were at the same time and I didn't have time to do one and the other, so I just focused on light because that is the biggest draft league and I'll probably get the most attention over this, so I decided to not do my picks, and like when I show them, I just do them as I go. So this team had some changes made to it. We no longer have Jolty on the limit, even though it put in so much work this week, but we no longer have it. Sadly, it got replaced by Maynetric. Maynetric was just so low in points, and they kind of did the same thing, so I just decided to pick up Maynetric and upgrade on some other things. Anyway, this week we're going against Davey. Another bad matchup. Like, we had bad matchups both the times, and we again were on the losing side of the pick'ems, so I wasn't looking forward to this after we just lost the Game Boy. Anyway, we had Gale wins, Pidgeot Mega, Pidgeotite. This speed was enough to speed the next person lower to me. Incineroar, just supposed to tank hits. Pringles, tank hits. My Body is Reggie, tank hits. Diabetes Dog brought a little bit of a special set. I was not supposed to bring Fairy MZ because that doesn't trigger my Unburden. It just doesn't. So I messed up. Like, I thought, yeah, Fairy MZ is gonna be good if I draft it with Slurpup, because I can get the Fairy Z off, get an immediate KO, and then have double speed. I was wrong. So I kept Slurpup, but when I dropped Jolteon, I made a bunch of other transactions and ended up picking up Gardevoir. So Gardevoir, I hope is going to help out a lot. I didn't want to pick up Hat because I felt Hat was too slow to utilize the Z move, but I picked up Gardevoir instead. Alright, close that so nobody sees my new teams. Anyway, this was the team we brought, and let's get straight into this battle. So we're going to go slow again. Alright, let's start. They bring out Shandy. I do an aggressive lemon lead here, and I just Volt Switch. Because I'm like, they're not going to stay in. I want to see what they bring out, so I just Volt Switch. I decide now to go into Pidgeot and get a Hurricane off because their sash is broken. And I should have U-turned here, kept up with the momentum, but I decide to Hurricane instead. I Hurricane, it does a butt ton of damage, so I'm like, okay, I can just Hurricane a couple of more times, because the rest move is Scald probably. So I go for another Hurricane, and they decide to teleport out, regenerating their health back, and they go into Shandy. I'm like, okay, one hit KO Shandy, that's fine with me, and I go for the Hurricane, and then they pop an Overheat. I did not know this thing was going to be carrying Overheat. I should have brought an Instant here, but I don't. I go for Jolteon to try to get a Volt Switch. I decided to get some momentum and go for... Wait, I do not go for the Volt Switch? That was stupid. I just should go for the Voltage. Go for the Volt Switch. I kill the Chandelure. If not, I get to switch out. Anyway, I go for the Hidden Power. It lives on 1. Lives on 1. Gets to get so much chip off on Jolteon. And now I just have to Volt Switch because our Jolteon is so low and it can get revenged by anything, and I would rather it be the Revenger. I go into Diabetes Dog here, and I'm like, okay, that's bad, but I pop a Psychic on it. I am almost positive they are confused right now why I am special, but I popped a Psychic. They have to switch out here, and I drop Z move. Slurpup has horrible special attack, so the Z move does nothing. Anyway, I just have to Thunderbolt here. I just have to Thunderbolt, KO's the Weezing. And now they're going to Mean Chow. I decide, my Body's Reggie. Probably not the best switch, but I get it off when they P-Jab. They go into Chandelure, probably trying to do something, but I go in a Jellicent. I think that's read because I think Jelly's gonna live a hit, but no. And then I realize this thing is Specs. I go back into Lemon. Probably just trying to like sack it off if it doesn't get a KO. Should have Volt switched here again to go into Ensign, but sadly I don't do that, and I just have to Thunderbolt again, killing Lemon off. And the Chinchino doesn't get any damage off, and it's at 11 HP. So I go back into my buddy's Reggie here, just trying to finish it off. They go for U-turn, and they go into Slow King. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to stall at the Slow King. And I start setting up iron defenses. And I'm like, okay, Slow King, easily an iron defense on. They're not going to kill me one hit. I'll toxic them, so they can't just keep on stalling forever. They slack off, and I just started my iron defense set up for that Mian Chow. I also had body press, so I could just take this thing out in one hit. It's called Get Burned. I'm like, okay, that was fun, because now if I get to +4, I can't just one shot with body press. So I just start to seismic toss. That's not going to do anything, but I'm like, okay, let's just hope this works out. The only good thing is my toxic is slowly chipping them out, so they're going to have to switch. At one point, they decide to go for the slack off here, and then they just switch out. Like, my team, like, this is stall right here. They decide to switch out, go into Chinchino, sack off their Chinchino, because I was trying to get a range of how much body press would do to the Slow King to see if I should body press or just seismic toss. I probably should have ran the calc, but I'm just like not good with that. So I decided to test out body press 17%. Their scald again, they do 14. So my body press is still doing more chip than their scald is to me. But I decided, whatever, let's seismic toss, does more damage, and yeah. So we're basically just in a standoff right here, and they decide to switch their Slow King out again into the Mian Chow. Wait, no, okay, they don't. So they decide to teleport? No, okay, they decide to slack off, and they're basically stalling me. Like, I'm trying to kill this thing, they're just healing, switching, regenerating, switching back. It's basically peck stalling at this point. I decided to go for a seismic toss. It's like, I'm just going to keep on clicking seismic toss, because this thing's not going to KO me. It goes for U-turn. And then they go back in the Slow King and start stalling me again. I go for body press because I'm like, okay, how much is it going to do this thing? But no, they go back in the Slow King, and I'm just clicking seismic toss at this point. Because who cares? I'm literally getting stalled right now. So I'm just clicking seismic toss over and over again because who cares? I'm literally getting stalled. I love getting stalled. So I just click seismic toss. I'm probably streaming because that's just my luck. And they're just chipping me down as I continue to click seismic toss. And I thought they were going to switch here, but they don't switch, and I can take it out with body press. So they go into Mian Chow here, and they close combat me, take out my buddy Reggie. So I go into Incineroar here. I go back on an Incin, I intimidate them, and then I switch into Slurpuff, sacking Slurpuff, so I could come back in and intimidate them one more time. Wait, do I stay in with Slurpuff? Nah, I should have preserved differential, and then, yeah, I should have went back into Incin because I was going to take the close combat either way. So I should have went back into Incin for differential, but I go back to Incin here and then just try my luck with a Flare Blitz. And then I finished off with the Flare Blitz. So this did good. Jolteon did good. Incin did good. I didn't like playing stall, but I didn't like playing against stall. So yeah, that was the battle. We won 1-0, so we're 0-1 in Light League and 1-0 in Ultra League with opposite differentials. Yeah. Bye, guys.